Long ago, in a peaceful land filled with green fields, sparkling rivers and cheerful villages, there stood a magnificent kingdom called Surajpur. The kingdom was ruled by a wise and generous king named King Manik. King Manik was loved by all his people. He was not only brave and intelligent but also kind-hearted. He always listened to his people's problems and tried his best to help them. But there was something very special about the king. He had a deep love for elephants. To him, elephants were not just animals. They were loyal companions, strong protectors of the kingdom, and symbols of wisdom and strength. Because of his love for them, the king built a large and beautiful stable specially for his elephants. The stable was enormous. Tall wooden gates protected the entrance. The roof was strong and wide, keeping the elephants safe from rain and sun. Large water tanks stood nearby so the elephants could drink whenever they wanted. Several servants were hired to take care of them. Every morning, the servants cleaned the stable carefully. They brushed the elephants, washed their huge bodies with cool water, and fed them piles of fresh grass, fruits, and grains. The king personally visited the stable often. He would walk slowly among the elephants, patting their trunks lovingly. "How are my friends today?" he would ask happily. Among all the elephants living there, one elephant was particularly special to the king. His name was Raja. Raja was not only strong and majestic, but he was also extremely gentle and kind. His skin was grey and smooth, his tusks were strong and bright, and his large eyes were full of warmth. But what made Raja truly special was his kind heart. He never harmed anyone, he never became angry, and he always cared about others. But Raja's life was about to change forever, because one small hungry creature was about to walk into his world.
One quiet evening, after the elephants had finished eating their food, Raja noticed something strange. Near the corner of his feeding area, a small animal quietly crept forward. It was a thin little dog. The dog looked weak and hungry. His fur was messy and dusty, and his ribs could almost be seen beneath his skin. The dog carefully looked around. Then he slowly began eating the leftover food near Raja's feeding spot. Raja watched silently. The dog was so small compared to him. If Raja moved even slightly, the dog would probably run away in fear. But Raja did nothing. Instead, he simply watched the little creature eat. Poor fellow, Raja thought. He must be very hungry. So Raja pretended not to notice. The next day, the same dog returned again. He cautiously walked near the stable and began eating the leftover food once more. Raja watched him again. And the same thing happened the day after that. And the day after that. For an entire week, the little dog visited every evening and ate quietly. Raja became curious. Who is this little visitor? He wondered. Finally, one evening, Raja gently stepped closer. The dog froze immediately. His body trembled. Standing before him was a gigantic elephant. The dog thought he might be in terrible trouble. Raja spoke softly. "Hello there." The dog nearly fainted from fear. "Don't hurt me," the dog said nervously. Raja smiled kindly. "Don't worry, I will never hurt you." The dog slowly relaxed. Raja asked gently, "What is your name?" The dog replied in a soft voice, "My name is Rummy." Raja lifted his trunk happily. "Hello Rummy, my name is Raja." The dog looked surprised. The elephant was being friendly. Then Raja said something that changed everything. "Rummy, would you like to be my friend?" Rummy blinked. "A friend?" "Yes," Raja said cheerfully. "And from now on, I will save some food for you every day." Rummy's eyes sparkled with happiness. That day, a beautiful friendship was born. From that day onward, something wonderful happened in the elephant stable. Every evening, Rummy came running happily toward the stable. And every evening, Raja waited for him. True to his promise, Raja always saved some food. Fresh fruits, grains, and sometimes even sweet sugarcane. Rummy loved it. But more than the food, Rummy loved Raja's company. The two friends spent hours talking together. Raja would gently lie down beside the stable wall and Rummy would curl up near his huge feet. They shared stories about their lives. Raja spoke about the palace, the king, and the life of elephants in the royal stable. Rummy spoke about the streets of Surajpur, the markets, the houses, and the people he had met. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they shared secrets. Sometimes they simply sat quietly under the moonlight. People in the village began to notice their unusual friendship. "Look," they would say, "a dog and an elephant are best friends." Children often came to watch them. They giggled and pointed happily. But while most people found the friendship adorable, someone else noticed something different. Someone who wanted the little dog for himself. The king's minister.
The minister of Surajpur was a wealthy and powerful man. But unlike the king, he was not always kind. One day, while passing near the stable, he saw Rummy playing near Raja. The minister stopped. "What a beautiful dog," he said to himself. Rummy's fur shone in the sunlight and his playful nature made him very charming. "I must have this dog as my pet," the minister thought. He walked over to the stable caretaker. "Tell me about that dog," the minister asked. The caretaker scratched his head. "Oh, that dog. His name is Rummy. He often visits Raja." The minister smiled. "I would like to take him home." The caretaker hesitated. "But sir, he is Raja's friend." The minister lowered his voice. "What if I give you 100 rupees? The caretaker's eyes widened. 100 rupees was a large amount of money. Greed slowly filled his mind. After a moment of silence, he nodded. "All right." That very evening, the caretaker captured Rummy and gave him to the minister. Rummy barked sadly. He did not understand what was happening. He wanted to go back to Raja, but no one listened. And just like that, the two best friends were separated. The next evening, Raja waited for Rummy, but Rummy never came. Maybe he's late, Raja thought. The next day, he waited again. Still no Rummy. Raja began to feel worried. "Where is my friend?" Days passed. Rummy did not return. Raja's heart grew heavy with sadness. Soon he stopped eating. He stopped drinking water. He barely moved. The servants became alarmed. When King Ram Manik visited the stable, he immediately noticed something was wrong. "Raja," the king called, but Raja remained silent. The king tried feeding him fresh fruit, but Raja refused. The king turned to the caretaker. "What has happened to Raja?" The caretaker said nothing. Fear filled his heart. The king grew worried. Finally, he made an announcement across the kingdom. "Whoever finds the reason for Raja's sadness will receive 1,000 rupees." The news spread quickly, and soon the truth began to surface. People in the village knew about Raja and Rummy's friendship. Soon they came to the palace. "Your Majesty," they said, "Raja is sad because his friend Rummy is gone." The king was shocked. "My elephant has a dog as his best friend?" The villagers nodded. Soon the minister also heard about this. He suddenly remembered something. "Wait, the dog I took?" The minister quickly went to the caretaker. "Tell me the truth." The caretaker trembled. Finally, he confessed everything. "I sold Rummy for 100 rupees. The minister sighed deeply. Both of them went to the king and told him the truth. The king was furious. "How could you separate two friends for money?" The caretaker fell to his knees. "I am sorry, Your Majesty." After a long moment, the king calmed down. "Greed leads to bad decisions," he said firmly. "But I will forgive you this time." Then he turned to the minister. "Bring Rummy back immediately." The minister hurried home and brought the little dog back. The moment Rummy entered the stable, Raja lifted his head. His eyes sparkled. "Rummy!" Rummy barked happily and ran toward him. The elephant raised his trunk with joy. The two friends were finally together again. Raja began eating again. The stable filled with happiness. And from that day forward, everyone in Surajpur remembered an important lesson. True friendship is more valuable than gold, and greed can never bring happiness.